Hi, my name's Gemma Aldcroft from Little Atom Productions. Myself and my business partner Karen Podesta are the producers of the Liverpool in Conversation series. Previous guests of the In Conversation series, well, we started back at the end of 2009. Our first ever interviewee was a gentleman called Paul Denoyer, who is a very well-known music journalist. He was the founding editor of Q magazine and also Mojo. He was a fantastic interviewee. Since then, we have been lucky enough to have Janice Long, Mike McCartney, Ian St John, David Morrissey, Peter Serafinowicz, Paul McGann, Stephen Graham, and of course we're now up to our 9th interview, which will be with Linda LaPlante. The interview with Linda is taking place on Tuesday the 10th of September, and Mike Neary will be interviewing her on the stage of the concert room in the beautiful St George's Hall in Liverpool. It's a stunning building and a very fitting venue for such a grand lady. We're also delighted to be able to announce that Linda's book will be available for purchase on the night, and of course Linda will be signing them after the event. What's really exciting about it is that it doesn't go on the shelves of the bookshops until 2 days later, so it's a bit of an exclusive really. Tickets are available via our website, which is www.littleatomproductions.com. If you go to the In Conversation tab and click there, you'll find In Conversation with Linda LaPlante and you'll be able to book your tickets there. So the format of the interviews is rather unusual. It's a fairly long interview, which is quite unusual in itself. Mike interviews each guest in 4 20-minute sections, and it spans the whole of their life and career. But what makes it a bit unusual is that we ask the interviewees in advance what their 5 favourite pieces of music are, and then on the night they're performed live on stage by 5 separate musical acts. This time round, again, a little bit unusual, we've got an all-female lineup. I think we wanted to do that really to sort of celebrate what an incredible female role model Linda is, and also a lot of the characters she's written. So yes, we have an all-female musical lineup. They are Natalie McCool, who's just won Best Female at the Liverpool Music Awards, Anna Corcoran, who was a nominee for Best Female. We have a fantastic all-girl 3-part close vocal harmony trio called Barbie Shop, who are amazing. We have an all-female Beatles tribute band, and we also have a lady called Emma Dears, who is an ex-West End star, and she's going to be accompanied by a pianist called Ruth Alexander. So we have some incredibly talented ladies on that stage, not least, of course, the lovely Linda. How we choose the musicians to perform the favourite songs, it really depends, obviously, on the song choices, but also what we like to do is try and have quite unusual versions that the interviewee isn't expecting. As I think I said, the interviewee doesn't know how they're going to be performed until the night, so it's a complete surprise. So we kind of think, well, why bother unless it's going to be really exciting and unusual. So yeah, we've had some fairly unusual performances. We just pick the best musicians we know, and the ones we know are going to really make the songs their own. A good example is Peter Serafinowicz chose Our Friends Electric by Tubeway Army, but we had it performed by Neil Campbell, who's a virtuoso classical guitarist, and a lady called Perry Elliott Hughes, who's a soul singer who sings with Sense of Sound. She's one of the artistic directors of Sense of Sound. I mean, it was just astonishing. It was very, very much Our Friends Electric, but like you've never heard it before. So yeah, we do try and push the boat out a bit in that regard. Memorable moment, yes. When Stephen Graham realised that the musician standing behind him or next to him on stage was actually a lad that he went to the Averman Youth Theatre with, I had, by coincidence, heard him busking on the street and said, "You're an amazing musician, would you consider performing at this event?" We kept it a secret from Stephen until the night, and then Mike announced, "If you look behind you, you'll see your friend Ben Helm." And that was a really lovely moment. Another memorable moment was when Peter Serafinowicz came on stage and promptly snogged Mike, our interviewer. It was a stage snog, but it was still very, very funny. That was, yes, another very memorable moment in the... Yeah, well, you'd expect it with Peter Serafinowicz, frankly. Just before they came on stage, Peter said to Mike, "You play the piano, don't you?" Mike said, "Yes, I do." And he said, "Right, can you play Let It Be for me?" And he basically came on and did a very, very funny version of Let It Be, where he used only the first letters of each word. But of course, he did it in his impeccable Paul McCartney voice. And the audience absolutely loved that. And myself and Karen didn't even know it was going to happen, so we got a lovely surprise too. Future plans for the In Conversation series, the format as it were, is to take it to other cities in the UK. We've already made some inroads in Manchester, and I hope we're going to be launching in Manchester next year, possibly even Glasgow, but that might be 2015. We've also taken a couple of trips to New York this year, so watch this space.